The back roads are full of stories for anyone who travels on two wheels. It's a whole other world that cagers miss out on completely. You never know when a chance encounter with another biker will send you down a wild hairpin curve of reality. At a gas stop, a Harley rider and I struck up a conversation. It was typical at first, the regular, "Hi, how are you? How you doing? How you like the road today?" type of thing. He looked pretty weathered. I could tell he'd been on the road a while. I asked him how long. He said a couple months. I asked where he was headed. He laughed and said that changes by the day. But he did have a destination. Now that needed an explanation. He said he was chasing rumors in hopes of a special encounter. Vague and strange is how I took that. What exactly did he mean? That's when he told me the story of juicy chunks. It's the kind of story no one knows what is true and what is not. There's no official version, just scuttlebutt, with more emphasis on the "but," I presume. The way he told it, long ago, two bikers wanted to be country western singers. One was a guy, one was a gal. They didn't know each other, but one night they wound up in the same small town at the same honky-tonk bar. It was open mic night, and they both had their turn singing. With a little encouragement from Jack Daniels, they decided to sing together. It came off mighty nice, and the local crowd liked it. The two singers enjoyed it so much they spent the night together. Then they rode out of town the next morning, separate ways on separate bikes. That would have been the end of the story, except rumor has it a month later they wound up singing in another town 100 miles west. The crowd there liked it too, but like before, it was a one-night thing. They weren't hired to sing. They weren't a duo with a contract, just two free spirits enjoying the road in their own way. Maybe that would have been the end of the story, except now and then, on no schedule, the two of them show up here or there, in towns on back roads all over the country. It was the same thing. One night of singing, one night together, then moving on separate ways the next day. Bikers started placing bets on where they'd show up together next. Without trying to, they had become somewhat of an underground legend. In effect, they were a country western duo that improvised performances whenever the road brought their paths together. And the fun part was no one knew where they'd pop up next. This Harley rider I was talking to was chasing the rumor. He wanted to see them perform, like many bikers did. But no one knew where they might be. Yet many had fun trying to figure it out. I asked if this mysterious country western duo had a name. The Harley rider said hell no, they had given themselves no name. Nothing about them was that official. But over time they had gotten a name anyway. They were known as Juicy Chunks. I laughed. That's bizarre. Yeah, maybe, he answered, but it rings true. People in the bars overheard the two of them call each other by those pet nicknames. He calls her Juicy. She calls him Chunks. So naturally together they're Juicy Chunks. I asked if they had ever recorded any of their songs. No record contracts, nothing like that. They got an offer or two, but they turned it down. They wanted no part in being pinned down. They liked the freedom of the road too much. But that didn't mean there weren't recordings of them. The Harley rider said there were bootlegs people had made with their cell phones in the bars. Do you have any? I asked. He had just one, an audio file of a song by Chunks, rumored to be recorded in Abilene 4 years ago. These bootlegs got passed around in the biker community. Some had accumulated whole playlists of Juicy Chunk songs. For many it was a favorite to play on a ride. He saw I was interested, and so he whipped out his phone and sent me what he had. One song and one photo. It was the only photo he had to go on to identify the vagabond duo. Before he left, I asked him where he thought they were going to pop up next. He smiled and shrugged. Several places are in the wind, but one place seems to be the favorite of all the guesses so far as he was concerned. He was going to check out the Tipsy Hippie Grill in Pinetop. The outdoor patio of that place might get a surprise concert one of these days. No one knew where this information came from. Some claimed Juicy Chunks had fun spreading the rumors. Others believed it was overheard and passed along. But most took it as BS. But he was going to check it out. There was good bragging rights in being there when they really showed up. Plus, it was one of those bucket list items now. Attending a live concert by Juicy Chunks, there was nothing more rare on the road. He took off, we went our separate ways. I loaded up the song he gave me and decided to play it on the ride home. It seemed appropriate. The file name was You Gotta Go Home. Doesn't matter if the moon is full, your glass is empty, so you gotta go home. Yeah, that's right, you beat the mechanical bull, but your wallet's empty, you gotta go home. If I could, I'd take you there, you know I would, but the moon is full, and my baby's waiting, so you know, I gotta go home. Yeah, I know your Harley's low on gas, but everybody else has cleared out of this place. You gotta go home. Doesn't matter now if she took off with some jackass. He might come back to sell the score. You gotta go home. If I could, I'd take you there. You know I would. But the moon is full, and my baby's waiting. So you know, I gotta go home. Life on the road, yeah, it's a funny thing. It builds you up, beats you down. But if your wheels keep spinning, well, there's always another town. It's all over now. You've thrown all the bottles you're going to throw tonight, so you gotta go home. Doesn't matter if you can't find your smokes. The bleeding hasn't stopped. You gotta go home. If I could, yeah, I'd take you there. You know I would. But the moon is full and my baby's waiting. So you know, I gotta go home. I gave the song a couple listens on down the road. It made me wonder what it would sound like if Juicy was singing with Chunks. It also gave me the itch to visit Pine Top, just for the hell of it. The Harley rider had that one photo of them, but he admitted he didn't know how old the photo was. It could be 2, 10, 20 or more years old. Nothing in the photo really dated it. If I was going to spot either of them in passing on the road, I decided to get a little help from AI, see how they might look now, after a few years had taken its toll. I took the photos to Pine Top and waited on the patio. I never saw the famous country western duo, and I never saw that Harley rider either. I think he was pulling my leg. Maybe I just missed them, or maybe the rumor is wrong, or maybe they don't exist. Or maybe they did, but now they're settled down. Why did I think I was going to be lucky on the first try at something so very rare? But I did get a juicy burger and good chunks of fish in the fish tacos.